Lightweight championship, but both of these fighters have world championships in mind. Of course, Art Frias hoping for a rematch against Ray Boom Boom Mancini for the WBA crown. In Ruben Munoz, we have a young man who has lost only one fight as a professional, been fighting mainly at 130 pounds, and moved up recently for his first fight at the lightweight, and it was a stunning upset against the favored Curtis Harris. Munoz, in March of this year, stopped Harris in the 4th round. That big right hand sending him to the canvas and sending Munoz on to victory and vaulting him into the lightweight ranks as a serious contender. Of course, for Art Frias, the former WBA champion, who has lost only twice, the opportunity here today to get himself back into the world title picture, and that's where he wants to be. Frias, of course, won the title from Claude Noel, defended against Ernesto Espana, and then lost it to Ray Boom Boom Mancini in one of the most exciting short fights in the history of the game. Right here on CBS Sports, Frias came out and rocked Mancini with a big left hook early in the 1st round. Then as the round progressed, Mancini coming back strongly, opened a cut under the left eye of the former champion Art Frias, and near the end of the fight, a barrage of Mancini punches following that knockdown had him up against the ropes with the seconds ticking away, about to end round number 1. Richard Green, the referee, steps in and stops the fight, and Frias has lost his crown. It's all he has thought about, but he must get by this young man, Ruben Munoz, who wants that world title opportunity just as well. So Ruben Munoz and Art Frias coming up shortly on CBS Sports Sunday, an important lightweight bout. Right now, let's read. Although he certainly scored a stunning upset when he moved up to the lightweight ranks and knocked out Curtis Harris in 4 rounds.
Well, Munoz is a good puncher with either hand, Tim, and he's a tricky fighter. His managers claim he's not a southpaw, but his best punch is a right hook, and he always throws it from a southpaw position.
I guess the question about Art Frias is, did he lose anything at all as a result of that 1-round loss to Ray Boom Boom Mancini?
Well, it was a 1-round loss and a quick stoppage. He's a well-conditioned kid. I don't think it's going to take anything out of him at all. With Art Frias, you have to worry about bleeding. His trainer says he's not a bleeder, but anytime we see him, he bleeds. But one thing, Tim, I think his strength and his class is going to be the difference in today's fight.
All right, we had a chance to talk to both of these young men about the significance of this fight today. Obviously, they hope it leads to a world title chance.
This is the biggest fight in my career, and I'm going to be out there trying to win because, like Frias, I got a lovely wife and 2 beautiful little boys back home, and I want to take them where Frias has taken his family.
If I win this fight, hopefully we can get another shot at the title with either Ray Mancini or Ernesto Espana, but I will definitely want to fight Ray Mancini for a rematch.
2 outstanding young men, 2 exciting young fighters, and we're ready for round 1 of this USBA Lightweight Championship. Let's go to the ring announcer, Ed Darien.
Ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated, Round 1 Productions, and Elbom and Minas Productions, in association with the Tropicana Hotel and Casino, proudly present the vacant United States Boxing Association lightweight title. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 12-round USBA title, referee Larry Hazard. And now, boxing fans, introducing the principals. First, in the red corner, wearing the all-white trunks, he is weighing in at 132 1/4 pounds. He has a record of 13 wins, 1 loss with 10 knockouts. From Odessa, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, here is Ruben Munoz. Munoz. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the all-black trunks. He is weighing in at 134 3/4 pounds. This young man has a record of 24 wins, 2 losses with 6 knockouts. The former World Boxing Association lightweight champion from Montebello, California. Boxing fans, here is Arturo Frias. Frias. At one point, ladies and gentlemen, should this bout end in a draw at the conclusion of the scheduled 12 rounds, there will be a round number 13. And now, referee Larry Hazard with the final instructions.
Okay, fellas, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Remember, I insist on
Here's referee Larry Hazard with his final instructions. Art Frias from Montebello, California. Ruben Munoz from Odessa, Texas, both of Mexican-American heritage. And there is the tail of the tape for today. Munoz coming in at 132 1/4. Remember, this just his second fight at the lightweight. Frias just under the 135 limit, 134 3/4. And we are underway with round number 1. In white is Munoz. In black is Frias. And this is for the vacant U.S. lightweight championship. But as we have underlined, the real significance, where do they go from here? For Art Frias, of course, the strong desire to go to battle once more with Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Indeed, he spoke to Ray at Mancini's Grossinger's training camp up in the Catskills of New York as Mancini prepares for next week's fight against España, and wished him luck. And Mancini said, "Hey, Art, I've been trying to reach you to wish you luck for your fight tomorrow." And they said, "Let's both win and get it on again." And boxing fans, I'm sure many of them will hope that that's the case. But Munoz fans have other ideas.
Well, Munoz twice, Tim, has already switched to the southpaw stance. He threw a right hand, stayed out there southpaw, tried to invite Art Frias to come into that right hook. But Frias so far is fighting cautiously, not the way he fought the first round against Ray Mancini.
That was some start in that fight, and each fighter responding to it in the opening seconds, and they slugged away until nearly 3 minutes were up, and it was Ray Boom Boom Mancini getting the call as the fight was stopped in the final seconds.
Let him out. Step back.
Scoring here in New Jersey. USBA rules on the round system with a supplemental 5-point system in the event that the fight ends in a draw. Although, as you heard the announcer Ed Darian say, if it's a draw at the end of 12, they'll have one extra round to try and determine a winner. Oh, good solid right hand by Munoz. Best punch of this round.
The way Munoz sets up, Tim, he is a bomber. He really gets leverage on his punches.
And that brought Frias out of his shell there as he had started slowly. Once he took that smack, he landed a good combination of his own. Fighters trading punches here now, toe-to-toe.
And you notice Munoz is southpaw, Tim. Now he switched back around again.
We're in round 1, scheduled for 12, the USBA Lightweight Championship.
One thing we found out about Munoz in the Harris fight, he has the ability to take you out with one punch, Tim.
Frias has Munoz pinned against the ropes over there, with Munoz playing turtle at the moment. Frias banging to the body and now scores a combination to the face. Under 30 seconds to go. Big right hand, a left hook back from Munoz. 2 heavy punches exchanged by these 2 lightweights.
Let go that head. Let him go out.
There's that big right hook that we were talking about, Tim, and it came from the southpaw stance.
And it rocked Frias. He wobbled back. Final seconds of round number 1. There's been some heavy hitting early on. Round number 2. Art Frias in black, Ruben Munoz in white.
These fellas must have a wire into each other's corner, Tim. Al Lira told Frias, he said, keep using that jab, use that jab. Hit you with the jab.
Second round scheduled for 12 for the USBA Lightweight Championship. Yesterday, you had a brief introduction to another young star in boxing, Marlon Starling. There's a solid left hand scored by Munoz.
Now he's fighting southpaw, Tim. Switched right around.
Starling winning the USBA Welterweight Championship with a first-round knockout of Kevin Morgan. Last week, Donald Curry, Hector Camacho brought themselves onto the national television boxing scene with impressive victories. Today you're seeing Ruben Munoz trying to make a name for himself against Art Frias, the former WBA world champion.
In this fight, Tim, you have the guy that's got the real big punch in Munoz and the guy that's the busier fighter in Art Frias.
Had some solid punching here, and we've also had some solid sound problems, evidently. Some audio difficulties along. We apologize for those, and our technicians are working on them.
Munoz is fighting as a southpaw again, Tim, and landed that big right hook.
And he has set Frias back on his heels a couple of times in the early going with those solid punches.
Well, he can punch, no question about that.
10 knockouts in his 13 victories, has lost only once, and a man he had down on the floor wound up losing an 8-round decision. Somewhat controversial, at least to Munoz's people. He's managed by Doug Lord, trained by Joe Jovan. And his father, Ruben Sr., is working in the corner with him.
Bring him up. Bring him up. Yeah.
Solid combination landed by Munoz at the head of Art Frias. Frias banging back to the body successfully. Under a minute to go, round 2. Frias managed by Norm Kaplan, trained by Al Lira. Some redness under the left eye of Frias. He has been cut there twice before in consecutive fights against Ernesto España and Ray Mancini.
Frias is pushing his jab now, Tim. He's looking to throw that big punch. That may be a mistake. Should be snapping that jab, keeping Munoz off balance.
Under 30 seconds to go, a heavy exchange by both fighters. Munoz switching back and forth, left-handed, right-handed. Got to be a little bit confusing to Frias.
He thinks he's fighting 2 different guys, Tim.
Toughen up with one in there, especially the way Munoz has started. Final seconds of round 2. For the USBA Lightweight Championship, Art Frias and Ruben Munoz. Round number 3, Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy live from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Art Frias in black, Ruben Munoz in white. 2 of the fine young lightweights in the world.
Bring him up, bring him up.
Frias trying to score a victory here today and hopefully get a rematch for the world title against Ray Mancini. Ruben Munoz trying to show people who he is after his knockout win over Curtis Harris. A big victory here today over Art Frias would put him among the very top lightweights. And still capable of fighting at 130, where he has fought all but one of his professional fights. Next Saturday afternoon, Ray Mancini defends his WBA crown against Ernesto España from Warren, Ohio. And Youngstown, Warren, and surrounding areas will be out in force to support Mancini against the Venezuelan former champion. We'll have it for you here on CBS Sports Saturday. Munoz falling short with that last combination. Frias lands a good short, sharp right hand.
Frias has to use his strength, Tim. He has to bull this guy and he has to stay inside. Now Munoz is fighting southpaw again, and it's really confusing Frias. He just doesn't know how to lead into a southpaw. Now he's back the other way again. If I was in Munoz's corner, I'd tell him to box southpaw all the way, because that seems to really confuse Art. Now he's able to fight and get that jab in there.
Wild right hands by Munoz, failing to score. There is redness under the left eye of Frias and some slight swelling there.
That's the eye that was cut so badly against España, Tim. It's in the same spot.
And again by Mancini. Now Frias landing a combination, backs up Munoz. Munoz covers up well.
Frias is not a big puncher, Tim, so that's what he has to do. He has to keep those hands moving, keep this other big bomber off balance.
Under a minute to go, round 3. Ruben Munoz from Odessa, Texas, and Art Frias from Montebello, California. Born and raised in East Los Angeles. Texas against California today. Solid left jab by Munoz. Good left hook by Munoz and a right back behind it. Effectively hooking from both sides, as Gil Clancy's pointed out. He's been switching left to right. Under 30 seconds to go, round 3. Frias definitely trying to stay inside more as we come down to the 10-second mark in the 3rd round. Round number 4 scheduled for 12. Art Frias and Ruben Munoz. Frias in black, Munoz in white for the USBA vacant lightweight title. Down goes Frias. Munoz sending Frias to the canvas early in round 4. Frias telling referee Larry Hazard he's all right. Now let's see whether Munoz can spring to the advantage here, having startled Frias with that combination sending him down. Solid right to the body by Munoz.
Also a good right hook to the head, Tim. He's a bomber, no question about that.
Munoz, we mentioned just his 2nd fight at this weight. He came up a couple of pounds.
Frias keeps pouring with that left jab instead of snapping it, Tim, and it enables Munoz to set for his punches. He has to snap that jab out there.
Right hand.
There he's pouring with it again. He's just pouring with that left hand. When Munoz is a southpaw, it really confuses Frias.
Frias plugging away on the ropes, landed a good right hand to the head of Munoz, but Munoz going toe-to-toe with him. Tremendous action here in round 4.
Big cut
now.
Big cut on the left eye of Munoz now, Tim. This is a war.
That would apparently have come from a blow. We did not see their heads clash together, but it is possible that it came from heads clashing in that exchange over near the ropes.
Go to the head, Art. Go to that head.
So Frias has been down and Munoz has been cut. Under a minute to go, round number 4. Frias has rallied back well since the knockdown. Bangs a right, then a left to the head of Munoz.
When his hands are busy, he's okay, Tim.
Munoz landed a left hand. Last
All right,
exchange.
break out. Step back. Watch those heads.
Larry Hazard reminding the fighters to watch their heads. It may be that he felt that that cut was open with a clash of heads, certainly not intentional. Solid right hand by Frias. Another right hand by Frias. Under 15 seconds to go in this 4th round.
This is a brutal physical fight, Tim. They're both taking punishment.
Coming to the end of the 4th round. During these first 4 rounds, and we'll be looking into the corner here of Art Frias first. And you can see a little redness under his left eye. A little swelling there, but it is Munoz who is showing most of the damage despite being knocked down. Despite Frias being knocked down in that 4th round. Munoz had the cut opened up over his left eyebrow.
At the end of the last round, Tim, Munoz looked a little tired.
We're going to show the knockdown again. Good combination by Munoz, and down goes Frias from a right hand, it appeared on that replay. The left hand following it up.
You got to put a little pressure, okay?
That's his trainer, Al Lira.
Get off. So he's waiting for the good shot.
So you can apply pressure, and interesting thing from the point of view of the cornerman as we look into Munoz's corner. At the end of round 3, we heard Al Lira tell Frias, you've won 3. You've won the first 3 rounds. I thought a couple of them we had given to Munoz, although very close. But that's all part of the psychological ploy for your fighter, I guess, Gil.
Tim, I use the opposite psychology. I'd never tell my guy to take it easy, that you're way ahead. You have to tell him, hey, you don't know what the judges are going to score. Make sure you go out and win the rounds big. You haven't been winning them big enough. They can work a little harder.
There is quite a slice over the left eye of Ruben Munoz. Just below the eyebrow. Could be a problem as the fight develops.
Corner has done a good job, though, Tim. Really good job so far.
Munoz scoring a knockdown in round number 4. And coming out a little of the worse for wear.
Doug Lord in Munoz's corner is a real old pro, Tim. He had Curtis Coates, great welterweight champion. He knows what he's doing in there. Both corners have good men.
He had the great Charles H. Milton III, our producer, back in his Golden Gloves days in Texas. Didn't help him much, but he has since improved his reputation, Doug has. Frias on the attack. Munoz against the ropes over there.
Munoz is starting to look a little worse for wear, Tim. He's a little tired.
Frias took a right hand. He's out. Frias walked right into that shot from Munoz when it appeared that he was pressuring Munoz, and suddenly Munoz,
he's in bad shape, Tim. He's in bad shape.
I was just about to say, I think Munoz might have been playing a little possum.
Yes, he was coming on pretty good, Frias, but he got nailed with that big bomb. And that's what Munoz has. He has that big bomb.
Munoz with a wobbly Art Frias lands a right hand of the ear.
He is very wobbly, Tim. Very, very wobbly. Same position he was in against Mancini, against the ropes. He doesn't know enough to grab. He grabbed this time.
trying to throw punches out of there, but he just got to survive. And he'll be lucky to. There's still a minute to go.
He's standing straight up against him.
And Larry Hazard has stopped the fight in the 5th round. Ruben Munoz has scored a 5th round knockout of the former world champion, Art Frias. And in the audience today, Alexis Arguello, the WBC lightweight champion, no doubt looking on with great interest here. He has a fight coming up in a couple of weeks you'll see on CBS at 140 pounds. But Ruben Munoz has now pushed himself into the lightweight title picture with a 5th round stoppage of Art Frias. And indeed, Gil, it was very similar to the finish of the Mancini fight with Frias up against the ropes, trying to rest, trying to survive, and not being able to help himself by grabbing or moving.
Tim, when you get up against those ropes, you can't stand straight up. You've got to bend, move in, grab the guy around the waist, and walk him. When he gets stunned, he just doesn't know what to do. He goes against the ropes, and he stands straight as a stick. He's just such a great open target when he does that.
Well, quite a turnaround here. Munoz, who had knocked Frias down in round 4, took the slice over the left eye. In the 5th round, he was taking a battering on the other side of the ring, and then suddenly, out of that exchange right there, a solid shot that sent Frias down to the canvas, and he did not recover from that, and Munoz jumped all over him. Let's see it again. There is the new USBA lightweight champion. A right hand right there.
That's that right hook that we mentioned, Tim, early in the fight. He's got a big right hook.
Frias was wide open for it, but at that point, as we repeat, Munoz had actually looked a little tired, had come off the ropes on the far side. I was about to say, you know, I wonder if he's playing a little possum, and all of a sudden he exploded with that right hand and caught Frias wide open.
Tim, that's what they call the equalizer. When you have that big punch, you can always change things around. That's what he did.
So Ruben Munoz, in his 2nd lightweight fight, has won the vacant USBA crown and will return here to Atlantic City. Right now, let's go back to lightweight champion Ruben Munoz with a stunning 5th round knockout of former world champion Art Frias. And when you got that cut, we thought that could prove to be a factor in the fight. What were your thoughts once you had the bad cut?
Well, my corner kept saying it wasn't bad, but now that I look at it, it's pretty bad. But I didn't let it get into my mind. You know, I was just steady trying to box and get him out. Art Frias is a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
Well, you landed a big right hand. It seemed right from the outset that you had him a little bit confused by switching from southpaw and back to right.
Well, I always do that. I fought like that as an amateur. I started out as a southpaw as an amateur, and I'm really a right-hand fighter. But I like to do that to confuse the fighters. And I caught him with a good right hook there, and that's what hurt him there. The first knockdown. And then I tried to change over to the right and be relaxed, you know, so I wouldn't go, you know, trying to follow him and go crazy.
Okay, well, let's go into round 5 here and see what happened again. Perhaps you can describe it as we see it again.
Well, right there, jabbing. Then I tried to get him with an uppercut. And there I was, and right there at that moment, I was trying to think about the Mancini fight right there.
It was very much like the Mancini
well, that's
fight.
what I was thinking, you know, and I was just trying to finish him right there. I knew I had him hurt, and I was trying to finish him so I wouldn't have to go any more rounds.
Ruben, it looked just prior to this exchange. That's the one that sent him into the ropes.
Yeah.
And prior to that on the far side of the ring, he was putting pressure on you, and it looked like you were either a little bit hurt or maybe you were a little bit tired over there.
Well, I hadn't gone, 5 rounds in the last year and a half, and I was just, he didn't never hurt me. You know, we butted heads there a couple of times. That's what probably did this cut. And he never did really hurt me that bad, you know, and I was just trying to move, be relaxed. But he's a good fighter. Art Frias is a good
All right,
fighter.
you're now the U.S. champion. What do you think you want to do next?
Well, I'll let my managers handle that.
Okay, onward and upward, however, huh? And your father, Ruben Sr., congratulations to you. Did a great job here today, and the very best.
Mr. Doug Lord.
Okay, and your manager, Doug Lord. Very best to you, Ruben, and certainly to Art Frias, one of the most popular fighters in the division. We hope to see him back again real soon. And we'll go back now to our studio. Less than a Mancini Music Festival.